I'm really excited for this today. I'll tell you what, Zeph Martin is an amazing gentleman, and what he has gone through in his journey with his son, Kaden, I'm just excited for him to being willing to share with all of you exactly what that story is. So with that being said, Zeph, I'm going to take down that slide. I'm going to bring you on up. So everybody, this is Zeph Martin. Say hello to Zeph. Zeph, say hello to everybody that's out there.
Hello, everybody.
On.
How's everybody doing today?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, we're expected 20 inches of snow in the mountains here over the weekend. So we're fired up, get a little bit more skiing in maybe before the end of the end of the season. But seriously, for everybody that's out there, I know you're tuning into this to hear this story about Zeph Martin and his son, Kaden. And we're just really excited to be able to take the time and this opportunity for them to share their story. So Zeph, why don't you start out with a little bit of an introduction about yourself? I mean, well, let me just say that I've known Zeph now for a couple of years through our business, CILI By Design. And I've been out to Alfallen, where he lives there in Illinois, a couple of times as well, helping him build. And we've gotten to know each other fairly well. But I want to let Zeph explain a little bit of his story. So Zeph, why don't you go ahead and share that a little bit?
Yes, I am here in Fairview Heights. We are just east of St. Louis. Again, we're here in Illinois. I was a healthcare specialist. I am now home because of the pandemic and COVID. It forced me to kind of take a different direction in life. I now stay home. I take care of my son. I still look at myself as being a healthcare specialist, just in the clouds. I have 4 children. This is Kaden. He is 19. And I have a 22-year-old, a 14-year-old, and just an 18-year-old. So my hands are very, very full taking care of the kids. They're growing. So that's just a little bit about me.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah. Kaden this is his son that we're going to be talking quite a bit about. And but before we get to that, let me ask you, Zeph, how were you introduced to CILI initially?
Oh, man. So there was a gentleman named Joseph Martin. He's my grandpa. And he introduced me to this product. To make the long story short, I called him actually on a business opportunity. He was telling me about this great product, CILI. And he told me, he knew about my son or whatnot. And he said, Zeph, try this product for your son and you'll have a lot of the answers that you want, especially with, cannabis being very therapeutic to the body. And my grandpa, he introduced it to me. And ever since then, it's been a go.
How long ago was that?
We started on with CILI in March of 2020. He introduced it to me earlier than that March. That's just when I came on with CILI.
Okay. And March of 2020, you said?
Yes. I've been with CILI since the pre-launch days.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. So now, was there when Grandpa Martin came to you and was introducing this to you, did you have any skepticism around the product or what the company was all about or anything like that, or any challenge with wanting to try it with Kaden?
Yes and no. When he was explaining it to me, he was telling me, not only where the market is going, but he was explaining how the product works. And with my son, he can't swish. He was like swish for the 30 to 60 seconds. To me, I was like, I know he's not going to swish. So, how else can I give it to him? He was still like, give it to him as he can take it, and then again, you will see the questions and the answers for yourself. So that was the only skepticism, that I had with him using the product.
Okay.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, because, a lot of people, they don't really understand what this is. Our product has 0 THC in it, so there's no drug in there whatsoever. And it's just going to work with the body. And we'll get into a little bit of what it all does here in a little bit. But as we do, what I'd like to do is, I know you have your own testimony as well from using the product. So I'm going to take myself off screen here for just a second. I would like you to share a little bit about your own personal journey with CILI Swish. And then we're going to get to Kaden.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, I've been loving this product. Of course, when I seen the difference that it was making in my son, I was like, oh my gosh, I got to try the product for myself. But when I first started it, I have lost so much weight being on this product. I was about 250 pounds. I have lost nearly 40 pounds being on a product and still losing more weight, trimming more fat. I feel great. I feel younger. I play basketball a lot, and it's very funny. Just a quick small story. I'm 6'4" and being 250 pounds. You don't play a lot of basketballs, and you don't necessarily want to guard fast people. But when I take this product and the energy, the drive that it gives me, the replenish, the next day that I feel, I'm not feeling them old man pains and things like that. I'm 36. So them growing pains, they stay away. And I mean, like I said, it has really done a number on me. I had a ganglion cyst that was on my right wrist that out of nowhere had disappeared. So, I mean, it's a great product. Those are the things that I experienced for myself.
That's awesome. I'll tell you what, in our opinion, everybody should be on it. But I want to get to Kaden. So thank you very much for sharing that. I mean, the weight loss alone is phenomenal, right? We've had people lose a lot of weight off of this, and you're one of them. So thank you again for sharing all that. So let me bring the picture of Kaden back up. And again, remind the folks, how old is Kaden?
Kaden is 19, the big 19.
Yeah. And I know that he has cerebral palsy. That's what he was born with, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I am going to bring this up. As we talk about this, we're not going to make any medical or healthcare claims. These products have not been evaluated by the FDA, and they are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any illness or disease. But what we do know is that when you give the body the nutrition that can help it work with itself, its most efficient self, that magical things can happen. So why don't you go ahead and share a little bit of Kaden's story?
Yeah, as Guy was just saying, he was born with cerebral palsy since birth. He had always had bowel complications as he was growing up on different types of medications and things like that. The things that he does, I like to say that he relates his conditions to someone who's autistic. He used to rock a lot. He used to bang his head on things like that. I'm telling you, if he was in one of them big buses, he can rock a whole big bus. Wow. That's how much he was used to rocking. And, it was just very frustrating in his teen years. It just got really aggressive with the head banging and the rocking and things like that. I mean, over the years, I think I have been through about 7 couches. It got really aggressive. He was prescribed with medication throughout his years, being on cerebral palsy. And we was always trying to find something that's going to work for him and finding a solution that's going to work for him. So I was very skeptical of putting him on different things because he can't talk to me. He can't tell me how he's feeling to say, hey, Dad, this is working for me. This is not working for me. I feel this, I feel that. So a lot of the ways that I had to go with him is by sight. I know if he was smiling, things like that, it was great. But if you see this picture, this smile is from after him being on the product.
Oh, really? That's great. I did not know that.
Yes. If I was to show you pictures before, that was a mean face that he used to always carry around. And he's very, very loving. But that's the smile that I miss, that I did miss of him that he has back. And I mean, it's just been a go ever since he's been on this product.
So Grandpa Martin introduces you to the Swish family, if you will, CILI By Design. Yes. And then you did introduce it to Kaden, and you said he wouldn't be able to switch. And just before we get into that, this is what the bottle of Swish looks like. This is what we're talking about. This is a month's supply. And the way you take it is you just basically unscrew the black cap. It's a 1 teaspoon measured dose. You fill it up with the delicious water. This is water encapsulated cluster within the water cluster. So this is not water soluble or water infused. This is water encapsulated. It's called aquaceutical nanotechnology. It's very unique. We have the proprietary rights to it. Nobody else has. It's created by 4 scientists with 9 PhDs. And the way you would normally take this is you would fill up the cap, put it in your mouth, and you'd swish it around for a minute and then swallow it, right? But you were saying you couldn't do that with Kaden because of his situation. So how did you introduce it with him?
So it was it's funny. My son hates water. He would not drink water unless it was ice cold and probably had some ice in there because he shakes his cup. So shaking his cup would have, made him hear the ice, and with it being really cold, he would have drank it. But if it was just some regular cold water, I'm telling you that water would sit in the cup all day. And when I first gave it to him, he used to kind of keep his mouth closed because if you were with CILI when it first started, we didn't have any taste. It was just plain old water. And I think with him taking it, I think he started realizing that it's helping him.
Wow.
He started not only opening up his mouth fully, but sometimes when this bottle here is on the table, he would sometimes reach for it and try to, actually take a drink of it. It's just so funny how he does stuff. And so I had to give it to him with a spoon. I measured the teaspoon out. I actually give him 2 teaspoons because his case is so severe. And I like to prevent anything from happening. I don't want him going back to what he was going to. So I give it to him 3 times a day. I give it to him in the morning when he first wakes up. He's still currently in school, and school works with him so much. So when he gets home, he'll get another at least 1 teaspoon. And just depending on how he's doing throughout the night, I give him 1 more teaspoon. Because again, I don't want my son going back to banging on his head and things like that. And with him taking...
Yeah, so let's speak to that. So what were some of the things that you began noticing after he started taking it, and how the kind of the time periods involved with those? So the head banging is definitely one of them. Yeah, that's really significant.
Yes, the head banging, the rocking, the rocking, that's at a minimum. Him being at school, I think he's focused a lot. I used to get letters coming home saying that, he hadn't had this many episodes. He was doing this, doing that. Now all I see the last 2 years is Kaden had a good day at school. He's participating. He's hitting buttons, saying good morning to the class. He's walking. He's being able to focus on other things in life. And that's what's really been the big notice that I've been having is the big changes. I used to never take my son out. He used to always stay home because of the head banging and things like that. But since being on this product, when I go share this product with friends and family and other people in the community, he's right by my side. And so it's been amazing.
That is so powerful. So, it's not only helped him reduce the head banging and the rocking. He's been able to be a little bit more sociable. You've been able to take him out and about. And
yes.
And what I just threw up here is a slide kind of showing for the people that aren't aware of all the different ingredients that are in this bottle of Swish. This is a lot more. It does have CBD and it has CBG. Again, it's 0 THC. We don't have any of that. So if you're worried about drug testing at your work or something along those lines, there's no issues with that. I was an airline pilot and I didn't have any problems. We got other airline pilots, first responders, that kind of thing, that are taking this without any issues at all. But you can see it's a complete wellness blend. It's a proprietary mineral blend. It's a glycobiological blend, and it's a mitochondrial energy blend. And it's also got MSM in there, which is really significant for the health of the body. So all of this is working together. And for whatever reason, again, we're not making a medical claim. We're not going to get into exactly how it's doing what it's doing. But what we do know is that Kaden started taking this. He had a condition before. He was behaving in one manner before taking the Swish, and then after taking the Swish. And some of this stuff started changing in a very short period of time, right?
Yes. When he started in March, I think he was on his medications for maybe 1 more month. and I weaned them off of it because I seen the changes. So I didn't know if it was the medication and coincide with the Swish, or was it just the Swish? So the only way that I could have found out, of course, is eliminate one. So, I eliminated he was on sertraline and Topamax. The sertraline was for the anxiety, and the Topamax was for the migraines. And both of those medication, I'm not sure if I said anything about it, but both of those medication, for some reason, he started breaking out in really bad acne. I mean, it was terrible. He didn't want me wiping his face whenever he took a bath. It was, sometimes it was just, I can tell it was uncomfortable. But when he got on this Swish, probably, 3 months after, I can tell the difference. Probably after a month, I started noticing the difference. So I started taking pictures as it started, getting better. And I mean, his skin now, I mean, it's just so clear. Couldn't be more excited. He's letting me wipe his face down now. And he's really starting to live the best life that he could.
Oh, that is so wonderful. And if I understand correctly, you have him completely off of all the medications. Is that right?
That is correct. He is off all his medications. He's been off of it since March, or I guess you might as well say since April of 2020. I haven't looked back for it. So yeah, he's going to be on Swish forever. He's not coming off.
That's right. And there was another thing, and this is what kind of prompted me to want to do this live interview with you. I've been wanting to do it for a long time, but we had a conversation earlier this week that really got me excited. And that was the doctors saying something about, hey, you don't even really need to come in and see us anymore. And there was also another thing about the reduction in inflammation in his head. Can you talk to those two things real quick?
Yeah, he had really bad inflammation, and that's what was causing, I believe, and that's what the doctors believe as well, is the inflammation that was in the front part of his brain was causing a lot of pressure, which was causing the headaches and the migraines and things like that, and CILI, which was causing the anxiety flare-ups.
Yeah.
When he had one of his last doctor's appointment was last year, July 8th. And when I took him to the doctor or whatnot, they were doing his exams and things like that. I let him know about the Swish, and they was, told him about the inflammation and things like that. And he kind of looked at him. He was like, yeah, I could tell that his forehead has went down a little bit. And I said, yeah, man, this product is really doing a number on him. And so he looked further in his charts and things like that. And he was like, I told him that I took, because he asked about his medication. He was like, do you need it refilled? I said, he hasn't been on his medication. I haven't refilled it in, over, I guess in that period of time, March, April, May, June, July, he wasn't on it for 5 months.
Wow.
So when I told him that or whatnot, and he was like, he's looking great. And he was like, if you're satisfied and he's not going through any of them complications with the constipation and all those things, he was like, Kaden's good to go. He don't really need to come back and see us. And so it was, it was a blessing for me because, I had to take him to the doctor, every time something is going wrong, we had to run him up to the doctor because he can't speak to us. Well, now we're leveraging time and we're able to do more things, and I'm able to do more things versus keep running back and forth to the doctors.
Well, and that's what was going to be my next question. So it was a perfect segue. How would you say overall with you, because it's affected your life, and Kaden, how it's affected his life, how would you say your lives are different? What's the overall impact, and what kind of message would you like to share with others in that regards?
Being on Swish for me has really changed my life because I'm a young man, single father, and dearly, dearly love my kids. I have had to make tough choices throughout the years to make sure not only he's okay, but make sure the rest of my children are okay. CILI has did a number of things for me. It has not only allowed me to live my life a little bit more, but it also has helped me with a better communication with my son. It has helped me be able to feel more comfortable. I was already comfortable with taking them out, but it makes me feel even more comfortable taking them out because I don't have to see him doing the head banging and, you know, having the anxiety attacks and things like that. Just this past weekend, he was at a function with me for 6.5 hours. And I mean, long as he
time for a kid, I mean, anybody, right?
Yeah, that's a long time for anybody. And I mean, as long as he ate, was changed, and he had something to drink, he was phenomenal. So it helps me out because now I know that I can take him anywhere. Well, we still have to get out to the water. That's our next step for the summer, is getting out to the pool, getting out to the beaches, seeing how he can do in heat. Once we accomplish those goals right there, I'll tell you, the skies is the limit.
Awesome. That's fantastic, Zeph. What would you say to other parents that may be a little skeptic or aren't sure or have, you know, they want to be able to help their kids because, or some other family member. I mean, we have adults. I mean, my mom is 91 or 92 now, and she's been on this for 3 years, and it's amazing what it's done for her. And then we have had kids all the way down to several, you know, a couple of years old.
Yes.
Swish on a regular basis. So what would you say to parents about taking that chance?
What are you waiting for? No, I'm kidding. No, I mean, really get this product. You will see that it's going to really, really make a major difference in your life. You know, if you can think outside yourself for just a second and think about your loved one, you know, not trying to put any bad juju on people, but, you know, you see a lot of things on Facebook that, you know, they say, you know, this person don't have to suffer in silence anymore. You know, that's, to me, that's a bunch of crap. That's to me. Because if you have somebody that's sharing something with you and they're trying to help you, don't look away. If you want to do some research to educate yourself, that's totally fine. Consult your doctors. Totally fine. I did not consult my doctor with Kaden. That was a personal choice for me. But get out and get this product for your loved one if you know someone who's having any type of healthcare concerns, not making any medical claims, of course. But I mean, really get that product. I mean, it really going to change your life and change the lives of people that's around you.
Absolutely. So here's as we close this out.
You suffer from them things too.
I'm sorry, say it again.
No, I was saying because, you know, even if, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're breaking up just a little bit.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I was just saying, you know, even if it's not for yourself, when you care of a loved one, you have no idea what that does for the surrounding people.
That's right. That's right. We lost you there at the very end, Zeph, but you're exactly right. You know, take that chance, take that opportunity that's in front of you. And here's what I'd like to suggest. If you know Zeph Martin personally, definitely reach out to him to get started on this product. And if you don't, and if somebody shared this with you, get with the person that shared it with you. And if you're friends with me and you'd like to get on it, you know, reach out to me. I'd love to help you as well. And I would imagine, Zeph, if somebody had any kind of questions in regards to the condition that your son has, maybe they know somebody else with a similar situation, and it looks like you might have frozen, but is it all right if they have to reach out to you through Facebook, on Facebook Messenger?
Of course. We're all a family here.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Zeph. If you haven't already, drop some comments in. I see we got some great comments already here that I can see within our studio, if you will. But I'll be looking forward to looking at the other comments on the Facebook Live. And then also send Zeph some hearts and some loves. Let him know how much you appreciate his fortitude to come forward with this little interview and share his personal story and that of his son. It takes a lot of courage to do that. And I appreciate you, Zeph. Thanks for all you do for this company, CILI By Design, and our team. And I wish you a wonderful afternoon.
All right. Thank you so much for having me, Guy. I really, oops, sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. All right, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
All right. Talk to you later.